All right. If you're watching this video, you're probably my teacher or someone who the YouTube algorithm brought this to and is now very confused. But in this video, I'm going over how to make this here what I call the intangible mouse, although it's more of a cardboard gesture recognition. But hey, intangible mouse sounds better. This is a demo project and what it will look like. And the first thing I would probably go over is what you need if you want to make it yourself. The entire project is much cheaper than the fancy video version of this, but it will still run you back about $40. Most important component would be this here thing, the Arduino Uno R4 Wi-Fi. You would see a cheaper Arduino that you want to use instead. Too bad, it will not work. Gotta be this one. Yeah, about $25. The second most important piece would be the sensor we're gonna use to read the vibrations from the cardboard. Specifically, the LIS3D8 accelerometer, although if you use a different accelerometer, that should also work, but your process will be a little bit different. Also come with these pins, which you'll use to attach it to your surface that you want to use, probably cardboard. And lastly, the most annoying part for in my process of it, the cord. You have one cord. Basically, I would recommend this kit. They could all theoretically work, but for some reason when I did it, the ones that are the 4 pins on both sides just did not work for no reason. So I instead opted these ones that have the 4 pin on one side and the four wire prongs on the other side, and they are wired like I showed in the picture before. That's not the picture. Here it is. Red to go in the voltage, black on the ground. Yellow should go in the one marked SCL, which is the furthest one on the right side. And the other one should be SDA, the blue wire, which is the second furthest away. Your red wire should go in voltage, and it should be the one that your sensor indicates, which if you look closely on the LIS3DH sensor, that is the 3.3 volt. All right. All right. That should be everything you need physically. There's also a few non-physical things that you could use, which can also be found with your GitHub page I made, and should help you out a lot. It has everything that you need for the parts, but it also has the other non-physical stuff. So the IDE I was using is the Arduino IDE 1.8. I should probably include 0.19 on there as well. Because anything older than that, I don't think will work as good. Or at all, maybe. I'm not sure. The first thing to do after assembling it is install this here code on the right. That is the data log. Once uploaded, it should give out a long string of numbers, and that would mean that your sensor is working and that your computer is receiving data from it. If you get this here message here, it says you can't initialize I2C comp with a sensor, you messed up. It's usually either just a wiring issue for the most part. So I would just unconnect everything you have and just reconnect it, and that would hopefully work better. Or you just change your cord, and then maybe that will work. Or maybe the sensor Arduino you bought is just terrible. No one can know for sure. After you see that this is working properly, you would go to Nano Edge AI Studio, which is free as long as you don't try and make money off their product. I don't have enough subscribers on YouTube to make a profit from this. If I did, hopefully that doesn't count. This little handy dandy website. You go to the settings. You want to put in the requirements for the Arduino Uno Wi-Fi R4. Which, if you do put in that this is the Arduino that you're using, these two things should pop up automatically. You didn't have to search for them. And you got like oh yes, I got at the beginning at the top where these things are, there's going to be four different types of projects you make. You want to do the one that's the N class classification, and that will take you through this kind of thing. So then we have ports using the external monitor. See how many accesses it has. You would want to know what that is for whatever particular sensor you're using. But for mine, that's three. After you got all that figured out, you want to go to signals. This is, you want to be very careful on this. So this class is, what you do is depends on what you want your hardboard gesture to recognize. Or at least one of your signals you would want to make one of your signals just calm, which would mean you just don't touch anything at all, so that the AI knows what nothing is. You'd want to choose a import signal from a USB. Oh yeah, and on the IDE, you go to Tools, go to Port, and you got to make sure which of these has your Arduino connected to it. I currently do not have it connected at all, but I can start it. There, there you go. Should pop up on here. If not for some reason, that's concerning. Oh, there you go. Mine is currently on calm. If you have your name of your Arduino popped up next to it, so that's how you know that that is the one. I'm not gonna run it right now because my project is finicky and I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, so you want to connect this to, in my case, what we not on there. I would recommend checking this box that stops after 100 lines. Other things I see is that you could only, if you only need have 10 lines, you should be good. But I would recommend doing more, probably at least 100. Doesn't take that long, a few minutes. So for like calm, you just stop this and you just wouldn't do anything to your cardboard setup at all. Sit there for a while. Maybe shake your desk a little bit so it knows that your desk shaking isn't an input. Might be good for it. And then after that, you would want to just say you wanted to emulate a tap. You would, I wish I had a camera. You just tap the cardboard just all over at different pressures and how hard, just all over it repetitively until it reaches 100 lines. Which again should take like 2 minutes. Then after that, you should be good with the signal step. You can run the optical checks if you want. I'm not super sure what they do. You go to the benchmark next. You want to run a new benchmark, and you probably two of them, but you can make more. Like if you want it to do more than just tap, you can have it go up and pull down or move around the mouse cursor completely if you're really ambitious. That might be a bit too much for this sensor, but it might work. I'm not going to spend the time to find out. If you want to do a calm, and I would say, hey, use two of my better data sets. It might just yell at me that I already did this, so we'll see if it does it again. There we go. It's gonna load a little bit, and this is right here is it training itself to know the difference between, in this case, nothing and someone tapping the board. That was pretty fast. So if your data is good, you should get a score of 99 or above in just a few seconds. I usually let it run for just a minute just to make sure that it gets all the data at once. But once you're over 99%, you should be good. If your score is not very high, I would just make new signals because yours are terrible apparently. You don't even need this. If you let it go long enough, it will finish after like half an hour, but you don't really need to do that. Like I already got a score of 99.83. I let it go for half an hour, it would be like 99.85 or something, so it's not a huge deal. If you want to do the validation, it will automatically put what is the best one given on your score at the top. And you want to do hit this button right here that is serial emulator. This would make your emulator so you can test if the AI actually knows the difference between different things without you having to input it into your project. Again, you'd want to select the port that your Arduino is hooked up to. Just hit start, and it should give a little graph here, and you could try hitting your piece of cardboard and see if it notices that there's a trap or not. And again, if you're not touching your cardboard, it should remain calm. And if it does not do that, you didn't do good signals, and you should start over after that. That is a very important step because you really want your data to be good. Because after you compile a library, it's like super duper hard to change it. I even tried to get a separate one, but it's renaming it's really hard because it's automatic. So it messed up my thing a lot. So I would recommend really making sure that this is the library you want before uploading it. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention earlier. You want to include all these libraries. I don't think there's any different ones in this one. No, there's not. Okay. So some of these should just be automatically on Arduino, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. It's just more of this wire one and these two for the sensor, and this one you will have to install yourself. So you do that, you just go to tools, you go to manage libraries, and then it will sit here for a couple of seconds and think, and then eventually something should pop up. There it is. And you should type, it's been super laggy, the name of your sensor. It loads. Nope. It doesn't like me today. I've had more things than that, but oh, there it goes. It should. Oh, there it is. So this is this one. I should have installed already. Oh yeah, there's the one up top that makes no sense. So it should be the Adafruit, the 3D8 for that one, and it should work. Again, if you try to upload it, it will yell at you and be like, "Hey, you don't have this library." So that does make it a lot easier to know what libraries you have and which ones you need to get. This library is the one that you just made with the NanoEdge one, so it's a little bit harder. You have to go to include library, add a zip library. Before you do that, though, you have to go to your files and extract the, the library from the Arduino file that it gave you, and then you should be able to go through on this and click on the zip file that you just extracted, and then it should be good after that. Let's see. And after you upload this program, that should be good. Except for this bit of code that I haven't changed yet this year. You'll just edit it a little bit based on what you want it to do. Like right now, I think ID class 1 is currently my nothing, so I wouldn't want this to do anything. That's probably comment account. And then ID2 would be whatever your second signal was, which in my case is tap. So currently, if I were to tap it, it will right click a mouse, and if nothing happens, it will scroll the page down, which is not great. So you could probably fix that if you want to do something else. That's just a really quick Google, and it's like one line of code, super easy. You might need to add one of their library, but like this one, it's already on Arduino, super easy. Let's see. Let's see. That's about it. I do have a step-by-step guide here, so it's flash on the screen. You can pause if you really want it. That should walk you through how to do all the stuff. All right. Well, thanks for watching. And if you're my teacher that's creating this, I'd like an A, please. All right. Like and subscribe, I guess.